Hi Fabulous, welcome to the Fab Over 40 show. I have to admit, I do think this is a bit of a weak ass title. Start today, improve on the way. When I read it, it's a bit meh. But off the top of my head, I cannot think of anything. That's what I was first of all inspired. It divinely downloaded when I was making notes of some other stuff that I want to do, and as it does, the script starts falling through me, as I call it, which is really relevant to what I'm about to say. But now I'm about to record it because I had to do some prep work because of this alignment that came through me, this inspiration. I'm looking at it and thinking it's a bit weak because I'm really excited about what I've got to say in this podcast. But there you go. At the moment, it is called Start Today, Improve on the Way. And that is because I feel, and I've been there, that a lot of people have dreams, goals and desires to be self-employed or to, everybody wants to wake up happy. They want location, time and financial freedom. But they've got these beliefs and limitations that tell them they can't start. And I had that. I used to think I'd love to be self-employed, have my own business. I had this dream before I'd even left school. I had this vision of being an artist. I don't know where it even came from, because honestly, if you knew my background, you wouldn't have believed that I had this vision. But it was put in my heart by God, the universe. But I wanted to be an architect, and I had this vision of, I came from the sticks, as it were, from a small town in Somerset in the southwest of England, as you can tell by my accent. And I'd never even been to London at this point, but I had this vision of qualifying as being an architect, which is pretty unheard of in I didn't know anybody else who was even an architect, let alone a female architect, at the age I was, and going to London and walking around with this big portfolio, because it's long before digital stuff, showing my wares kind of thing, and getting these amazing projects and having this fantastic apartment in London. And but then I thought that people from my background didn't have those opportunities. That wasn't possible. I let myself get talked out of it very easily in a very misogynistic way, but I won't go in that today. Lack of around from the era that I was born in the 60s, I was surrounded by a lot of misogynistic men and role models, as it were, teachers, etc., parental sort of guidance. And I was this strong, determined female that didn't want to settle down and get married and have babies. I wanted this career. And so I didn't have a lot of self-belief in myself. I got talked out of my vision of what I wanted to do. And I also thought, from my background, that was rich people that had their own business with lots of money to start up businesses. And I am so passionate now that we can create lives that we wake up happy from, and it's easier now than ever. And that's what I want to try and explain in this podcast episode. And what I've learned is, and that's why I'm passionate about getting my message out there, is learn that you can actually anybody can start a business in this day and age, and you can do it on zero, and you can do it in small pockets of time. If you surrender to the universe and follow inspired guidance, but you have this intention, you have this desire, you have this dream, and you surrender to it, the universe conspires to make things happen. I've jumped the gun on here what I was going to say, but if you imagine you don't believe that you can have a business, you don't believe that your dream come true, you don't believe you believe that you are too old for it, you don't believe you have enough money, your background, or all these beliefs. A belief is just something that you keep telling yourself over and over again that can create a habit or a negative belief. So tell yourself a different story and you can change that. And I know now that money is not an object, time is not an object, and age is not an object. So if you can thinking that you can't have this dream, it's either be all and end all. It's either you've got to have a job and earn money to pay the bills and all the, circumstances, responsibilities that you've got. You might be of a certain age, you've built up a certain income, you're trading time for money, you've got children, you've got dependents. It just seems so far off. And you think, I can't quit my job and start a business. I've spoken to so many people, and I've always referred to Marie Forleo, which was a mentor, one of the first mentors of mine, when I joined her course B School, stands for business school. I realised she was working 3 part-time jobs to fund her living expenses and still building up her coaching business. And now she's a successful multimillionaire. And I used to use her as a reference to people that would immediately talk themselves out of being able to do something. So if you can imagine 0 being never going for your goals, or 10 giving up your job and focusing 100% on building a business or a lifestyle that you love, just imagine if you're not investing any time, or you're investing 100% of your time, what is it going to hurt if you take half an hour here, 20 minutes there, 10 minutes there? So you've still got your job, you've still got your responsibilities to your family, you're not depriving everybody, but you're starting to think, what do I want? What is my dream? What is my goal? And just borrow, on your lunch break or something. That's what I tend to do on breaks and stuff. Or even if I got to do house duties like cleaning and stuff like that, I'd rather be investing time in my business and my projects. So I use that as learning time. This day and age, like I said, we know no better age, but we can go onto YouTube and find loads of motivational personal development guidance videos. I put them, and now I used to do it. I used to go onto YouTube on the YouTube app, plug in my earbuds that were still on a string by then, one earbud in my ear. I never looked at my phone when I was driving. Put my phone, set up a video I wanted to listen to, and put my phone in my car door as I commuted to jobs that I hated. Rather than just listening to music, I used motivational material to get me fired up, make me focus on my dreams, get my vibration right, to get me in the mood and make me believe that my dreams were possible even when I was working for somebody else. Now I just flick on my TV and put my YouTube app on upstairs or downstairs while I'm going about things. If I have to hoover, or obviously not hoover, but change the bed, even when I'm getting ready in the morning, I usually have an iPad or the telly on when I'm putting on my fake face, as it were, getting myself ready for the day, apart from when I'm drying my hair. Then I'm listening to stuff and I'm filling my brain with training and guidance and stuff like that. So you can start working on your dream in little pockets of time, because it can either be 10 minutes a day or nothing. And even 10 minutes a day will get you there at some point if you have faith in the universe, rather than having no faith or belief and not even starting. So you may or may not have listened to other podcast episodes of mine. And if you have, this will make sense, or you may have not. So I'll give you a quick explanation about the 4 levels of consciousness. So if you've listened to other podcast episodes or other materials of mine, you would have heard me refer to the 4 levels of consciousness. So when I think about how I came across the law of attraction, and I started putting and implementing a simple practice and then more practices to my day, and my life started changing, when I heard about the 4 levels of consciousness, it made so much sense to me. I heard it from a lady who said that she heard it from a gentleman called Peter Sage. But then I actually did some training, and it was Michael Beckwith. I won't put these names. I don't expect you to research them or know them, but I like giving credit where credit's due. So Michael Beckwith said, he was asked a question by somebody at a seminar that he was giving, and an inspired action. This is what he came up to explain as a way, dropped into his mind as a way of explaining to this person to give an answer to what they said. So no disrespect to this lady whose book I read that said it was Peter Sage, because I know Peter Sage talks about the 4 levels of consciousness, but it seems to be that it was Michael Beckwith that had the inspiration for the 4 levels of consciousness as an explanation to an answer to a lady. So I'm more in line to think it was Michael Beckwith where it first came from. So level 1 is the victim state. It's poor me. Why me? Why is this happening to me? Nothing ever goes well for me, etc. And where I lived for a long time, and most people do, you don't believe me. Well, if you don't believe me, start listening to conversations that are around you. Even harder, maybe, to do, start listening to your own conversations. So most people are in level 1, victim mode. Poor me, why me? And why I can relate to it was because prior to the day that I had sort of hit rock bottom, and then the book The Secret came into my awareness, and the law of attraction and things start to click, I was very level 1, poor me, why me? And because I was always so, why me? Why me? I'm a good person. Why does this keep happening to me? And I was focusing on all the horrible things. I kept attracting more horrible things. But then, so just in case in point, I'd actually prepared this podcast previously. Yesterday morning, actually, it started to come through me as I was sat at doing other bits, and I've got to go with the flow. And then later in the day, I had to go out and I had to get some petrol. And I noticed as we call them in England, the pumps or gas station, but the pumps in front of me said that the kind that E10 that I needed, the 2 pumps in front of me were out, not working. So a space came available in the 2 pumps behind. So I pulled up. I wanted to put a certain amount of petrol in to fill up or near fill up. And it got to £17 something and it just stopped. So I pumped and pumped and nothing, and it would not go past it. It was like this boof noise happened to the pump. So I thought, so whatever's affecting the first 2 pumps is now affecting the second 2 pumps. So there was a gentleman behind me queuing, and I wanted to let him know that the pump wasn't working, because he might have thought that I'd just got the petrol I wanted and I was going to pay for it. And I said, the 2 pumps in front are broken. It looks like whatever's affecting them is affecting my pumps. I don't want you sitting there wasting your time when you could go to others. So I go to queue up to find, I'll pay for the petrol that I've got. And there's a lady in front of me, and I get in there and find out that everything's gone down. The whole system's gone down. They can't use the tills. All the petrol pumps have gone down, and they reassure us that it's going to be up and running sooner or later. And I appreciate what the lady in front of me was saying, but she was really frantic. How long is it going to be? How long is it going to be? And they were like, we're just doing the calls now. This happened before. It usually takes 5 minutes. Okay. And she's looking at me and she's like, I've got an 80-year-old lady in my car. We're taking her a hospital appointment. I don't know about you, but when they're that age, they're only focused on themselves and nobody else. And I've got a 91-year-old dad that's like that. So I was like, yeah, I get where you're going. These kind of things always happen to me. Do they always happen to you? And I go, no, actually. But prior to this, I probably would have said yes, because that's what I was focusing on. I would have probably, why me? Why does it always happen? And I just calmly breathed. And she said, but I could see by her self-talk, all the things that she was saying to me in her frantic energy. Yeah, I can see why things like happen to you like that all the time, because they used to happen to me. But now I can say, no, they don't actually, because we're only human. We go up and down the emotional scale. So if you are aware of an emotional scale, it's all these sort of, the middle ground is neutral. Everything above that is positive, more high energy. Things like gratitude is up the top, bliss, things like that. And the more negative we think, we go further down into depression, despair, frustration, etc. So we all waver because we all come into contact with other human beings like this lady. But I've learned strategies now to manage my emotions and on a daily basis. I'm not perfect, but I can rally back a lot quicker. So that is level 1, poor me, the victim mode, where most people are. Like I said, so for an example now, as a little bit of an exercise, start listening to other people's conversations. Even start listening to your own. Start how somebody else might start a negative conversation. And you go, oh yeah, I get that. Like that lady yesterday trying to get me to get on board with her conversation. Somebody else stood behind the queue would, yeah, I get that. And they might have jumped on board, and the whole people in the petrol station might have been having a negative conversation. It's just one of those things that happen. So, or even start listening to your own conversations. So level 2 is by me. And that's like when we do all the work and we don't look out for outside guidance and stuff. That's where most people are when they learn about the law of attraction. And that was me included. So I was poor me. Then I learned about manifesting the law of attraction, and it was all by me, always by me. Oh, this miraculous thing. If you focus on something you want, you can manifest it. It was all by me. And very goal-driven people are like that. So for some reason or another, sometimes extremely bad circumstances like poverty or abuse, etc., and they decide they're going to make a better life for themselves, and they are very focused and driven, and nothing is going to stop them. But to me, this is hard work, hustle mode, and usually people like that, I hear the stories more and more, burn out. So recently I was there in level 2, like it was level 1 victim mode. Then I became this miraculous thing, the law of attraction, and we can consciously create our lives and make goal lists and vision boards and things like that. And then we can manifest things. I won't go into a whole nother topic I'm thinking about now, that, sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't. But I started to resonate away, even though I love the law of attraction, I started to resonate away from this. People work 18 hours days now to build up a business, and tell your family you've got to do this and you can't go on holiday and you can't do this and spend time with them and go to the sports day and the Christmas nativity. But they'll thank you later when you take them on a holiday to the Maldives. And I've literally heard people say that that's what they did with their family. Look, I've got to work this hard now, but promise you I'll take you on to the Maldives. But unfortunately, last year, someone that I really liked, but then resonated, for they took pride in the fact that they worked 18-hour days, 7 days a week, building up this massive fortune, helping other people putting out this perpetuating, and I've done a podcast on this, perpetuating, Netflix was a swear word. You don't spend time with your loved ones now because you've got to build this business. And unfortunately, and I was already resonated away from that methodology. That person actually created or manifested cancer last year, and they thought they were over it, and in a very short space of time they passed away. So they were a multi-millionaire. They were postponed. They were loving their business, but underlying it was motivated by fear, the fear of poverty, and they passed away, and they were 34 years old. So I want to put that down, because I want to say, to the detriment of what with that hard work. Yeah, and I've been there too. Anyone else relate to this? Have you, work, never give yourself any time. You might have a great salary, but to what end? Because you've got to work these ridiculous hours and always say yes to this boss when you want to say no, and you have to apologise to your family, missing special events and your children. So anybody can relate. And anyone relate to burnout, or your body just getting an illness because it's forcing you, haven't listened to the signs to stop. So in the end, it has to give you something really, that forces you to stop, like a family tragedy or an illness with yourself, etc., or a family. Because that's the universe, like, I'm trying to tell you to slow down and you won't listen to me, so I have to do something. And it can also be if you are feeling desperate. It can be described as very graspy, fear-based type of manifesting out of fear and frustration or dire need. I've been there as well. Not enough money to pay the bills, the car breaks down, etc. And you understand, or you've come across the law of attraction and know that you're responsible, that it's set out that anything you conceive, the mind can conceive and believe you can have. So when you start doing the law of attraction and you focus on a lot of money or something, but instead your car breaks down, you haven't got the money, but you have to pay, and then you're desperate to manifest something like a graspy, fear-based one. I've been there as well. So I know the power of the law of attraction, and I've manifested amazing things. And at the same time, I've become fear-based. So I was going to say is even people that are very successful, they have to work on themselves every day. I was just listening to a podcast today about a lady that's very successful. She's not, I don't say she's desperate, graspy or anything, but she still gets money beliefs. Well, I've listened to 2 people today that are very successful. They're very good at teaching people money mindset. And I love it when they actually admit, like, I haven't got this thing cracked. I still get fears about money. I just know how to use tools to get me more aligned again. And some people say if you're trying to control the outcome, you're acting out of fear. And I get that. And then they say that you're not aligned and you're trying to fix it all yourself. I get that. And you're not trusting in a higher power. And then they say that you can't manifest anything like that. Some people might have heard about the law of attraction, but they haven't heard that, the universal energy, source energy, higher power. They've just heard that if you focus on things that you want positively, you can manifest them. And then they try and do it all themselves. And, and I've heard people say that you can't manifest like this because you're doing it out of fear and you're out of alignment. And I get it. When the bills need paying and the bank account is empty, it's hard not to fear fear and want to manifest ASAP. Double tick on that one. I've previously disagreed that you can't manifest from fear or fear-based alone, a fear-based place, should I say, alone, because I've done what Gabby Bernstein calls, or I love Gabby Bernstein, but she calls it manic manifesting. And when we're scared or desperate, and we want something, there's these certain people say that we're out of alignment, we're trying to control it, we're acting out of fear, we can't manifest. And I've always disagreed with that, because I'm thinking, when that time the book The Secret came into my awareness, I just could not take any more. I was literally on the floor doing the ugly cry, because so many bad things had happened to me. And I've talked about this in other areas and other podcasts. I literally sort of screamed out to the wall, God, the universe, going, I can't take any more. Please, please stop. Because if this continues, I don't think I've got the energy. And you can read into what you will, and you're probably right. I was that desperate. It was like, I cannot take any more physical pain. And if it doesn't stop, I'm out of here. That's what I was saying. And then this voice in my head said, go and find the article you've hidden away. And then when I found that article, which I'd put away, and I believe divine time, and that's why I believe in things like there's a higher perspective, a higher power that we're not aware of, because I've seen things align, something that might have had 6 months ago that didn't make sense. And suddenly, because of circumstances 6 months down the line, that all makes sense. And I've gone through that recently. Oh yeah, I get why I went through that. And it wasn't very pleasant at the time, but I trusted that this was all happening for a reason, while people around me were feeling sorry for me. And now I'm in that place of, in a very short space of time, because I've just focused and done some inner work, that it's all realigned again. So I don't agree that you cannot manifest from fear, because sometimes when you're really desperate, but I think we subconsciously surrender, that's when we allow higher powers to come in and helping us, because they want the best for us. So like I said, I get what, I totally align with what Gabby's saying about manic manifesting, but I do disagree, because even in my direst times, I don't know if that's a thing or a word, and especially when I'm at my lowest, miracles have happened. But I've also tried to manifest with all my might, with following level 2 actions, and nothing has happened. And then the minute I let go, because I think I've failed and it's not going to happen, it happens, and I've subconsciously surrendered, should I say. And I will say this. So when I've subconsciously surrendered, a fucking amazing miracle happens, far better than I could have ever imagined. So when I heard about level 3, which is Free Me, where you create, as it were, and you let the universe come through you and guide you and surrender you in faith that everything is working out for you, and you follow inspired action or guidance. I got that, and I thought, I want to manifest from this far more flowy place. And I've been talking a lot about this recently, but whenever I found myself going into level 2, I was really hard on my giving myself grief on my ass, really, subconsciously, because it was quite a default thing to go back to level 2. I would feel guilty. And when you let go and nothing is showing up and the bills need paying, it can be quite hard not to want to do something to deliberately focus on manifesting it, even if the universe could have something far more sensational to offer that we cannot perceive with our limited earthly minds. So I started to notice, like I said, when I surrender and let go or think that it's not going to happen, it happened far better. So when I heard about, I started to think there was more to the law of attraction that we were missing out on, because there's those times that we don't manifest. And then I started to put the picture together about how I manifested things when I surrendered and let go. Who doesn't want to come from that place? That something manifests far better than we intended and far easier, like miracles literally happened. Who doesn't want to come from that place instead of the hard work place? But then this happened. Well, I actually heard something the amazing Amanda Francis said. I will always give credit where credit due, and at the moment, I don't know, it'll happen in future. I'm listening to Amanda Francis podcast at the moment, going right back to the beginning. But I listen to her book all the time because it's the best fucking money book I've ever listened to and bought, and that's Rich as Fuck. And I actually heard something that she said the other day, and she disagrees with some of the gurus who say you have to do this, that, and the other to manifest, and that manic manifesting is bad. She says there's all kinds of manifesting, and none of it is bad. It's a kind of needs must manifesting, and I thought, finally, I'm being desperate and unhappy and asked for assistance, and it's manifested. And I've been desperate and scared and tried to do things myself and nothing works. And then I've surrendered consciously or unconsciously and it sorted itself out. So that's why I understand level 3. And who doesn't want that to come from that place and create from a more happy aligned place? But then there's no getting away from the fact that there are people, usually men, who make a decision and they go for it from a level 2 perspective and create massive success and wealth, etc. And who doesn't want a bit of that? So I have subconsciously created a situation where I've gone, okay, let's combine the two. They're obviously doing something that works, and I don't want to be hustling. I want to align and go in flow, but there's obviously some skills and expertise there where I've normally gone, oh, I don't want hard work, don't want none of that. I've repelled that. Now I'm thinking, let's combine the two. Borrow from the very successful men. It's mainly men who were driven and goal driven and very successful, who have obviously got something going on and do something right and align the masculine with the feminine and the surrender and alignment way of manifesting. So what do I mean? I'm no way aligned, like I just said, with the hard work hustle ethos, but there's no denying it has worked for a lot of people. But I worry to what end, as I've said, and the detriment of that. So it's finding that balance. So in all honesty, I have gained a lot of knowledge and expertise in some areas, and I've helped a lot of people. But I am what I'm calling myself, just a baby entrepreneur. And don't have the visual testimonies or the testimonials or huge, massive, visible success as yet of the people with already decades of experience behind them. So I'm borrowing the massive, huge success of others and what obviously works and using it for myself without the hustle, as well as sharing it with others, because my mission in life is to help as many people as possible wake up happy. And if I can fast track that and help more people faster, yay to that. I have no doubt that my definiteness of purpose will come to fruition, my biggest picture. And then when I get there, I know I'll probably have an even bigger picture. And a couple of years ago, thanks to the universe, I found myself in the presence of Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins. And if you're not aware of who they are, where I've said before, I don't expect you research people, I highly recommend checking them out. And Tony Robbins said something that changed my life that day. He said, success leaves clues. And you want to learn from and model yourself on people already doing what you want to do. And I don't mean copy them. It means looking at what they are doing that is working and implement it in your own unique way. So there's copying and there's modeling. And what I was doing before, I was hiring mentors and that, and I had this vision, but they weren't getting it. But because they were successful, I was hiring them because they were the only people I knew and they were close in my network. I didn't realise that all these people that I was listening to, dead or alive, and investing in a pulse, I didn't think that they were my mentors, my gurus, because I didn't physically know them one-to-one. But what I was doing was seeking out people that were close to me and calling them a mentor, but they didn't see my vision. I was becoming frustrated because I didn't want to be trading time for money. I already saw the benefits of creating things online and digitally and something that you can build once and sell forever, rather than doing one-to-one coaching where you have to be either physically or digitally present. But whatever happens, if you're doing it real time, you're trading time for money. You haven't got that location time freedom because you have to be with that person over Zoom or in person. And that's what they kept saying to me, do this, do that. And I didn't want to be a one-to-one coach. I've actually trained as a master life coach. And in reality, I did that because I thought that, have to have the certificate. I knew that I didn't want to be a one-to-one coach full time. If I choose to coach somebody, that's because I want to and I feel aligned to it. But I didn't want that to be to my be all and end all career and income. Like I said, I don't mean copy, just do it in your own. And a lot of people was like, I did go on this session. It was like a branding session. Yeah, we come up with colours and this, that and the other and a tagline. I tell people now, branding is important, but you are your brand. Your own personality that's unique to you is what attracts people. And I've heard so many other people saying that since I've been talking about this to other people, including Amanda Francis says that. So hurrah! And he continues that he grew up in poverty and abuse, and he wanted to be able to remove himself from that and have a better life. So a bit like me, he saw a very successful person in his area and he approached him and asked him how he did it. And that man said, I attended a seminar and here I am. And Tony, there's a lot more to it than that. And Tony asked, what's a seminar? And he said, it's an event, usually on a weekend. It could be a day or it could be the 2 days. And you go to learn from someone who has taken probably 20, 30, 40 years plus learning what works and more importantly, what doesn't. And learning from them and fast tracking your success on their back of their knowledge. And that's what I'm doing now. I have a strong affection for the network. This is not going anywhere down this, trying to recruit anybody, but I have a strong affection for the network marketing community and the ethos and what it can achieve for people, but not as a be all and end all. I've seen many people call it their business, but it's not. They're basically being a rep for a company and they've got nothing outside of that. And they're usually using one social media channel and it's not a business. It should be just a string to your brand and your bow. And the reason I feel aligned with this was because many moons ago, so when I had the phone in the car door with the one ear plug on when I was commuting, I was listening to Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich series, which was very dated on YouTube and it's been digitally enhanced and I highly recommend it. And I should just play it over and over again, and a lot of Tony Robbins. And Bob Proctor struck a chord with me many years ago when he said, successful people have multiple strings of income. Now, I didn't know anybody, I'd never heard that before. I didn't really know many entrepreneurs from my background. I'd never heard of multiple strings of income. I don't know why, it just sat in my heart and it never left me and it made sense. And in the corporation of a network marketing opportunity, using products you are passionate about and aligned to, you could incorporate that as one of your strings. So you can have your brand, you can create your ranges, and you can build those products and services in, and nobody needs to know. And the good thing of doing it that way is, if something happened to that company, you still got a business. But that's what I was getting at. These people were saying that they had a business. But from what I've heard, a lot of network marketing companies have gone bust or broke down, or the company have stopped doing it or something. And then these people have nothing. That was their only source of income. But if you're passionate, you've got a niche, and you find a product that aligns with your niche, you can build packages around that, or sell the products through that, or help recruit people to help create freedom from themselves. And that is something that I learned from Marie Forleo's B School. And I was a member of a company and I incorporated it within my own products and services because I felt aligned to it. But in all honesty, less so recently. So there was real rock stars in the company with the real energy and drive. And they've left the company recently and gone on to something bigger and better for them that feels more aligned. And the founders actually, so I had my products and services built into my sales funnels and other stuff that I do, but I hadn't spent a lot of time within the back office, and I thought, and then one day I started to think, right, I really want to concentrate on this again. I'm feeling aligned, but I haven't seen any messages. I haven't seen any emails. I haven't seen any notifications about online events and training and stuff. And then I found out that the founders had actually sold it. And then the new owners didn't seem to be doing anything with it. And all my favourite products had been discontinued. So I really didn't feel aligned to it, because I was aligned to the product line, but there were certain products that I really loved, and you have to be a product to the product. And there was weight loss and things to, help your skin and stuff like that. But my favourite ones, they stopped doing. I was like, why? Because they were most successful. And so then I felt no longer aligned to it. But I still felt like I wanted this other income stream to fit the gap. And just out of, I'm just going off on a tangent now, but a lot of people, they hear about network marketing and they hear bad reputation. They go, ugh, network marketing. And then in the UK, I don't know about anyone else, they go and buy from Body Shop and Avon. And because they've known about the Avon brand for ages, and Body Shop, high street brands that, ethically sourced and things like that. And people love that brand. So they don't think twice about buying from a Body Shop rep. And then I started to see posts recently, people wishing well to people Body Shop reps. I haven't investigated it, but I'm guessing Body Shop's gone down. So those people that built their income or built their business I think Avon's still around, but I'd heard on the grapevine that that's even struggling as well. So, but I just felt I didn't feel aligned with my company anymore. It didn't have the same energy behind it. They discontinued my products, but I just felt aligned, inspired, that I still wanted some kind of income, like stream, not really too much an income stream, but it just to fill the gap, to take out of my products and services and my funnels if I stopped working with that company. And so I started to put feelers out for a new opportunity to build and replace the existing products and the company that I was with. And I was shocked when hardly anyone jumped at the opportunity to offer me their opportunity, as this is used the opportunity for a spamathon. So maybe people are getting wind that the old ways are not working, and the part of the industry I was no way aligned to is people have stopped doing that now. But now when I think about it, from all the random friends requests I get from complete strangers who then hit me up in Messenger with their fake hellos or offer me their opportunity even though we've got no relationship, and then they get pissy with me when they send multiple questions, they send me messages and I don't answer, and then they send multiple question marks, and when I don't respond to that, that thing I really don't align to. That could be in any industry, but I know that within certain areas of network marketing company, in companies and energy, it was like, build on social media, build relationships with people, and make friends with them, and find things that you align to. But the ultimate motive is to sell to them or get them to join your opportunity, and that just feels lit on me. That's why it feels more. Get something that you're aligned to and are passionate about and build it into your own business. So but these what I call the dinosaurs that are still out there, well, they immediately get blocked. So actually my feelers fell flat, and I thought, okay, something will come up. As I trusted inspired action to put something out there, and had pulled me to take the step, and then I more or less forgot about it. And then an amazing book I was reading before Christmas reminded me there is no wrong. And like I said before, that was because I was reading this book because of what was happening. And it said, if we could see from a higher perspective what is aligned for us, we know and trust that everything is perfect. So what even seems wrong is actually a stepping stone to something else. So from a higher perspective, everything is perfect and right. And like I said, now everything is aligned for me. So again, before Christmas, I was aligning to a lot of, so I was going to say that I was reading this book before Christmas because of circumstances. I also felt very aligned to Regan Hillier. And she said something that struck me. She said she was investing in a lot of personal development courses, lectures, etc., and getting herself into a lot of personal debt. and nothing appeared to be working, and she was considering giving up. And she spoke to her mentor, and he asked her, "Regan, how much inner work are you doing?" She was puzzled, and he said, "Regan, success is 80% an inner game and 20% an outer game." And I thought, no way am I giving my dreams and desires 80%. So that was my plan for 2024 and beyond. I'm very grateful for the life I've got, but like I said, I've got this definite purpose of a vision that I want to create. And I know and trust in faith that I'm on my way to that, but I could propel that and manifest it a lot quicker if I stopped and worked on my inner game using tools like scripting and meditation and just getting to zero, as we call in Ho'oponopono, to get inspiration. I can fast track that so that I don't normally have goals, but I'm saying it was inspired action. I was aligned to what Regan said, and I decided that I was going to work more on my 80% inner game and 20% outer game. But learning, like I said, from Ho'oponopono is training. It's like going to zero, which you could be doing if you are working on your 80%, you're just doing that anyway, and then act for inspiration. So the 20%, my version of this, is 80% inner game, focusing on the things you want to manifest, you desire. But the 20%, from my perspective, should be acting from inspiration. I believe there's a difference between intention and inspiration, and there's no problem with intention. It's just that it can be limited, and inspiration is infinite and unlimited. So that's what I did. I started out in 2024 thinking I'm going to manifest more in motherfucking 24, and I did a podcast on that. So a few days ago, I felt a strong inspiration to jump on a Zoom that I'd been invited to by one of my mentors. I don't know why, I just felt aligned to it. He usually does these on a Sunday, and I've been on a couple, and well, actually there was one of them I was quite shocked. He talked about inspiration, funny enough, and the other level to law of attraction, but he kept breaking off and trying to like sell another event, and I didn't really gain anything from it. And I thought, if it's him, I'm coming off, I'm leaving the Zoom. But then I heard about a club which its title stood for Money Freedom. And I was so inspired, I couldn't help it. Inspiration was telling me to sign up. And I also reserved a ticket for an in-person event organised by its owner, with many other successful people attending, so aka a seminar. And then there was an opportunity to become an affiliate for the club. I had no intention of this. I just followed inspired guidance. I jumped on the Zoom. I was inspired to sign up to the club, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this because I'm really liking this product, and I think it can help a lot of other people. And my vision and purpose is all about freedom on all levels. I talked about this briefly just now, like location, time, and money, freedom, and inspiring people, especially women over 40, to see there is still so much life in front of them, and anyone can create an income stream based around their passions, doing what they love, and they can utilize and master online resources starting for free, even with tiny pockets of time. So that's how this podcast started out. And I've learned so many, gained so many skills and expertise, bouncing off that event with Tony Robbins, really, because that got me to where I wanted to be, to learn how to create online courses and things like that. And I thought, if I can learn this, anybody can learn this, because I'm nearly 60 now. And because that's what I've done, and I say I'm just a baby entrepreneur, like I said, I'm nearly 60, it's been a lifelong dream to be self-employed, and it's only recently, with the information I have absorbed and mentorship received, that I've realised I'm a natural entrepreneur, and I've been an intrapreneur most of my life. And what that means is I always coming up with ideas for my employers or implementing ideas within my roles to make them more practical and productive for me and for that employer. And that they usually implemented most of them after I got bored with the role and left, but refused to take them on board while I was there. And I'm sure there will be people who listen to this to think, yeah, that's me. I've been there. I've come up with ideas. They've rejected them. Then I've left and then they've implemented them and take credit for them. That's because I felt from my background that I wasn't an entrepreneur. I didn't have that knowledge and experience. You know, I think of Richard Branson and things like that. I was like, I didn't make lemonade stands on the end of my driveway at 8 years old, so I can't be an entrepreneur. But now I'm looking back with perspective, as Steve Jobs says, you can only join the dots looking back, not forward. I realised I've always been an entrepreneur, but actually I was working for someone else, so I was an intrapreneur. Because I was coming up with these ideas and offering them to my employer. So I could have been, I believe there's divine timing and guidance, you know, a divine time for everything. So I believe this is the right time for me, but I'm only starting to see it now. I've always been an entrepreneur. You listening to this now, does this relate to you? Does this resonate to you? Do you feel that you are an entrepreneur? You've always coming up with ideas and opportunities that you're not implementing. That's why I'm so passionate about it. So you can be in a job, but you can start taking those pockets of time, and instead of giving those ideas to your employer, you can start acting on them. So being an entrepreneur is your nature, but because you have always been employed, you may not have acknowledged this, and this is who you are. You just felt, yeah, that's just me. That's just the way I am. And I feel so strongly that we are in no better time. I can't say in history, I can't say this enough times, because I don't think people are really taking it on board, to actually utilise our skills for our own benefit and build businesses for ourselves while still working, perhaps for someone else, starting from nothing, but with nothing in the small windows of those times. And that's why I built my own club, especially to help others improve their lives with the law of attraction and Ho'oponopono, because that's what I'm certified in, and to teach them how to turn what they are passionate about into money in their purse, and eventually create location, time and money freedom. So what I've done, I've actually partnered with the owner whose club I joined after watching that Zoom, and that I've become affiliate for, because I'm so impressed by him and it. Plus, I've helped a lot of people start brick and mortar businesses. Yeah, so I've helped people start brick and mortar businesses and utilize online tools. But knowing from personal experience, there is no time freedom or location freedom there. I'm solely passionate now only about building digital online products and services that can be built once and sold multiple times, even while you sleep, and creates that location freedom. So it made sense to me to align with MF, which stands for Money Freedom, and not join another network marketing company and sell their products. It made sense to gain from and promote something 100% digital. Yeah, the universe certainly has a more aligned 5D plan for us that we can ever imagine with our 3D vision and perspective. And I think it's good to hold our hands up as we grow in awareness, and not to cut ourselves off from avenues that could be sincerely useful to us, and hold our hands up sometimes and say, yep, I thought this was the best way, but right now, right this minute, this feels good for me. So I was shutting off those hustle and hard kind of things for more flowy and aligned. But for now, at the moment, for me, and I said, when you're in that dire type of, you need to manifest things, that hustle, that hard, you know, when things aren't showing up, it's hard to go, okay, I'll wait until 6 months' time, even though I need to pay the telephone bill today. So for me, it's now a combining the knowledge of someone who has obviously spent decades hustling and become very successful from it, and share that information with others to help them along their journey faster. And for me to teach what I have learned from personal experience and others about the law of attraction and Ho'oponopono, to act and manifest for a more aligned, inspired place, to create the lives they wake up happy for, with more location, time and financial freedom. And how that can be achieved is from tapping into what makes them tick and turn that into an income online. I truly believe everyone has skills and expertise that they are passionate about, that they can share with others who are equally passionate but not as knowledgeable, and monetize that knowledge regardless of age. So the Law of Attraction Lovers Club has partnered with Money Freedom Club to create the perfect balance. But before you go running off to join them, stop. I will put the links for both in the show notes, and if you join mf.club via my affiliate link and I see you have joined following the instructions I'm about to give you, I will give you some exclusive bonuses to help you on your level 2, level 3 combined journey to manifest a business and a life you love that I know you will not get anywhere else. I can 100% guarantee that. And if you join both the Money Freedom Club via my link only and the Law of Attraction Lovers Club, you will get an even better bundle of bonuses, literally exclusive to me, that I absolutely guarantee you will get nowhere else, regardless how many people join the Money Freedom Club or how many affiliates they are. No one is going to get the bonuses in the combination of the LOA Club and mf.club, because there is only one LOA Club and only one me offering these exclusive bonuses. But at this point you may be thinking, oh, join not one but 2 clubs. What's the point in that? How much is it going to cost? Does she think I'm made of money? Remember what I said previously about the 4 levels of consciousness and level 1, and how to start listening to someone in the victim state mentality and how they speak and what they talk about, or even braver, listen to your own personal conversations. Victims never become winners. You have to change what you're doing if you want to change what you have got and don't want. And you have to start backing yourself. Some seriously successful mentors charge literally tens of thousands for their one-to-one mentorship. 50,000, 100,000 even, and plus. I know someone who used to charge £10,000 an hour for their time, but their time is so precious to them now, and they love their time and location freedom, they won't even do one-to-ones anymore, regardless of the cost, because they don't want to be trading time for money. And they are putting all their best information in a club like the LOA Lovers Club and MF Club, and many others like it besides are doing the same. They see the value in it. People are picking up on the amazing opportunity to have digital assets like a club, and it's their way of building once and selling forever, for building a library of information, knowledge and skills on their terms and their times, like maybe one small video per week, or take a day or half a day a month and record several sessions and drip feed them into the club, or act out like me, record when I'm inspired by something that I know will be of value to people, and I can teach you how to do this for yourself and how you can market it. And the 2 clubs together are nowhere near that amount of, say, £10,000 an hour, but I'm absolutely sure the information is just as valuable in the right hands, and both together they are less than $20 a month. I will say that again. They are less than $20 a month for all that masculine and feminine level 2 and level 1 life-changing information brought together. Not to mention exclusive only from me bonuses. So how do you get those bonuses? You go to the show notes, you click on the links for both clubs, you check them out and feel if they are a fit for you. If inspired action says yes, act on it. The universe loves speed, like I did by joining the club when I felt the tug and then joined to become an affiliate. And if you are concerned about the cash of one of my bonuses is a tip on that, and how to focus on abundance, not debt, and attract more money into your life. And I'm sure if you do this and you join, and then you get access to that bonus about my money tips and you do this, money will miraculously manifest to cover the cost of the clubs. And if you start your own business based on your passion and the information gained in the clubs, you can write off the cost as tax deductible as mentorship. So truly, there are no cost at all. So once again, I will remind you, go to the show notes, join the clubs, screenshot your receipts, then go to mywakeuphappy.com. That's all together, mywakeuphappy.com, www.mywakeuphappy.com, also in the show notes, and that will sign you up to my exclusive email list where you will get my free 5-step morning routine guide, which includes the first simple step that I started to take that changed my life forever, and then reply to that email and email me a copy of both receipts or one receipt, and you will then get access to those exclusive bonuses. If you just join Money Freedom Club, you will still get some bonuses exclusive to me, but you won't get the super duper exclusive bonus. I talk about the money tip one that I mentioned earlier. That only comes if you buy both, purchase and join both the clubs. Remember, that's for less than $20. You get to access incredible life-changing and money freedom advice and bonuses from me worth more than the $20 layout. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. With the LOA Club, it actually has a 7-day free trial. So initially, it will be even less. You get to keep the free morning routine software and the tools and my bonuses. Now that's a deal. And if you think manifesting isn't real or is slow, etc., firstly, remember, check the self-talk, and I highly recommend you listen to my other podcast episodes, especially the recent ones, as it will put things into context better and you will see a connection to this that I wasn't even aware of before I recorded this podcast or partnered with a multimillionaire. I recorded an episode called Manifest More in Motherfucking 24, an episode inspired by the incredible Amanda Francis that I talked about previously, that I mentioned, and partly because of Regan Hillier and the 80-20 that inspired action I talked about, and Manifest More in Motherfucking 24 thing that, and then it became the intention that I mentioned, and that I was going to work more on my inner game, etc., to manifest more of the stuff that I really, really want intentionally and faster. And I'm not compromising anymore, I decided. I know my definiteness of purpose and I'm going for it. That was mid-January. Less than 7 days later, after recording that episode, I followed inspired action and I was led to the Money Freedom Club with and Matt Fidesz. So there you go. If you need any more convincing that the universe is on our side and we live in an abundant universe that has our back and is always supporting us, all we have to do is decide and ask, well, then I'm not the girl for you. If you don't believe that, then I'm not the girl for you. And I'm grateful that you've listened to this long, and I'm grateful that you won't actually be joining, because I know I will not be able to help you at this present moment in time. But please know, I don't mean that harshly, and I love you and I wish you the best for you. And if you are still listening, let me tell you my favourite quote ever and see what you think about this. You still don't have to join the clubs if you don't feel they're right for you, but please listen to this. My favourite quote. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. I'll repeat that again. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. Meaning, once you make a decision, the how is not your problem. The universe will conspire to create opportunities, open doors, and bring people and circumstances and facilitate the fulfillment of that desire effortlessly. Level 2. We just have to be open and more aware so we don't miss those opportunities. So this podcast episode may be one of those opportunities for you to fulfill one of your desires you weren't even aware of until now. If not, I hope my favourite quote inspires you or makes you think differently about the things you would like to happen in your life and start looking out for the signs from the universe. Remember, the how is not our part. The idea and the intention or the inspiration is our part, and then we follow inspired action. The intention and the inspiration are put there by God, Source, Universe, whichever you choose to call it. Therefore, it can never be wrong. I would just end it there, fabulous, but just know I love you and you are worthy beyond description, and you are brilliant beyond description, even if you don't feel it or believe it, because on the highest level, everything is perfect. I will leave it there. Go to the show notes. Don't even have to purchase. If you feel drawn, like I said, the universe loves speed, go and check it out. Just think about those bonuses. Think about how you could be accessing my money tip that would probably manifest money to cover it anyway. If you think about starting your own business, or even if you open a business account, even if you don't start making money in the beginning, you can use the things that you actually invest in, mentorship, different other bits and pieces, maybe courses, maybe some kind of little bits outlay for your business. But I strongly believe that you can start a business for free. But if you put things through that business account, you can then make it tax deductible, so it can be actually free. I didn't expect this podcast episode to go on for so long. I'm very passionate. I talk very fast when I'm passionate. So I hope you have understood what I've said. Maybe listen it again. Maybe listen to it in segments. But I hope you got the methodology here, that I was focusing on level 3 kind of manifesting effortlessly, but I was shutting the door on level 2 types of manifesting. I didn't feel aligned to do that for myself, but I realise now there's no harm in taking knowledge and expertise from people that have hustled and worked at level 2 and then combine it with level 3 more flowy energy and bring the two together, the masculine and feminine energy. I believe that was more perfect. I also believe that when we let go and trust, what the universe has for us is far more amazing than we can ever imagine. And that's what I was aligning to, because I felt that if I was focusing on level 2 manifesting, to say manifest a 5-bedroom detached house, the universe might want a 10-bedroom house. Not that I need a 10-bedroom house, but it's saying like that. I felt like if I was focusing on a very specific thing that I wanted to manifest, I was cutting off the opportunity. Now I'm more open to the fact sometimes in life we need to manifest things like money to fix a car, or a certain amount of money to help with a wedding, or things like that. So there's no harm in saying I need, that I have created $10,000, pounds, whatever for that thing, but also be open to this or something better. So that's what the Law of Attraction Lovers Club gives you. And then you've got mf.club that can give you the more masculine energy and skills and tips and tools. I always say, if something resonates with you, take it on board. If it doesn't, disregard it. So I'm sure there's going to be things in both clubs, if you take up on the opportunity, that will align to you. And some stuff might not align to you now, but it will align to you 6 months down the line when you've grown in your awareness. So I will leave it there. Check out the show notes, check out the links, see what you think. You can just join mfl.club via my link, and you will then get some bonuses. If you join both clubs, and don't forget you get a 7-day trial with my club, and then reply via mywakeuphappy.com and send me evidence of your receipts, either the one receipt for mf.club or both receipts, then I will let you have those bonuses. So have a fabulous day, week, month, year, life, and I will speak to you soon.